Hello and welcome back. Now that we have successfully analyzed our beam structure, we are ready for some post-processing. Let's start in the post-processing toolbox. We can turn on our deform shape and contour, and it looks like a pretty standard contour. We've got our total translation, and it's deformed by our total translation also. If we go down to our contour area of the post-processing toolbox, we've got our pretty standard options. If we go up to our Contour Styles button and select the drop-down, we have this new option for Beam Diagram. Let's select that, and the options for contour change a little bit. And let's change from our Show As Beam Contour to Beam Diagram. And this gives that classical beam diagram that you might have seen in textbooks, and this is especially useful for your shear and moment diagrams. But for translations and stresses, I like to switch to beam contours. One other option that you have with a beam element model is instead of beam diagram, we can go down here to our contour arrows. And this actually works on plates and solids also, but it's especially useful with beam elements. So let's activate our contour arrows. And at first glance, it's pretty sloppy. It's hard to tell what kind of useful information you can get out of this. But let's change a couple options and it'll get a lot more clear. First off, these labels are pretty terrible. So let's change that from on to off. That's already much better. We can check this box for solid arrows, and that gives them a little bit more thickness. You can see them a little bit better. There's also an option for scale by magnitude. And this will make the small magnitude vectors smaller and the large magnitude vectors larger. And if we check the box, you can see these red ones are the biggest vectors and these little gray guys are pretty small. There's a minimum vector magnitude option, which let's say you don't care about any translations under 50 thou. You can change this to 0.05 and it filters out those vectors that are very small translations. So let's go back to our contour. Let's just go to beam diagram. And let's take a look at some of these other output vectors. If we select our output vector dialog and scroll down to the bottom here, you can see we've got beam end A, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, and 0.4. And at first glance, this can be pretty confusing. What are these points? And we kind of skipped over that in our beam property definition. So let's go back and take a look at these 4 points. This is where Nastran is going to calculate your beam stresses. And so it grabs those 4 points on the beam cross-section and calculates it at each of those. And then when you plot your max combined stress, it just takes the maximum stress from all of those 4 points and plots that. So if you contour your 0.1, you might not see a high stress region that's going to show up in 0.2 or 0.3, 4, and so on. So let's go back to max combined stress. And if you're wondering where these points are, we can go back to our model info tree, expand model, expand properties, and we can edit that property. And the coordinates for those stress recovery points are shown here. And if you select your shape button, you can see those stress recovery points visually. And for a square tube, it's at each of the corners. You can change those if you'd like by selecting change shape and moving them around in this dialog. I'd recommend leaving them at their standard position unless you really know what you're doing. So let's close out of our beam property definition and go back to our post-processing toolbox. The last tool we're going to look at allows us to view our full stresses in the beam cross-section. So let's zoom in on these elements up front where the peak stress is. It looks like these 3 elements are some of the highest stresses. And to do the example, we'll turn off our contours. We can do it up in the title bar here. And let's go to, and we'll also turn off our deformation. We'll go to our View Styles cube and select the wireframe display style. And then we'll select Control Q to get our view visibility dialog and turn everything off except for our elements. We'll select Done, and I'll rotate this a little bit for a better view. All right, next up, we'll select View advanced post, and then beam cross section. This tool is pretty useful. If you select one of your elements, it'll show you a full stress field for that cross section of the beam. Right now we've got axial stress shown. You can see it's the lowest right in the middle, highest up at the edges. We can change that from axial stress to von Mises, and we have our peak stress at the top and bottom. If you want to view compression and tension separately, you can view your max principal stress or min principal stress. If you want to have multiple cross sections through this, you can select the multiple box, and you can do up to 10 cross sections in there. Oops, I hit enter to exit out of that. So let's go back to view, advanced post, beam cross section. If we don't want multiple, we can just uncheck this box and it goes back to only one through that cross section. If you want to show these cross sections across multiple elements, we can select the multiple button, select elements, and then we just choose those elements with this dialog box. You can highlight to preview, select OK, and those cross sections move throughout each of those elements. Let's say we're curious what is driving this large von Mises stress in this element. Like which output vector is it? Is it the axial force that's dominating that von Mises stress, shear force, moments, torque? We can turn off the contributions from each of these output vectors by just unchecking these boxes, and it updates live. So there's not much contribution from the axial force. If we turn off our shear force, you can see a little bit of a contribution. Shear force Z, not much going on there. Our moment in the Y, it drops the values a little bit. If we turn off our moment in the Z direction, you can see a little bit of a force still there, but it really is dominated by the moment in the Z direction. Even if we turn on every other contribution, we're only at just under 3,000 psi. So that's pretty useful to chase down where you're seeing the contributions for those high stresses. If you want to close out of this, you can just cancel out and it will remove those cross sections. And to get your view style back to normal, you select this view stylus cube and select solid. This has been your post-processing workflow for beam elements. Thanks for listening.